It was replicated in other areas around that same region. So in thinking about now moving forward, emergent bilinguals are constructed as liabilities for schools within the current testing and accountability framework. And many educators, unfortunately, have come to see emergent bilinguals solely through a deficit lens. So accordingly, many school administrators have dismantled their bilingual education programs, and behind closed doors, like that case shows, barred admission to emergent bilingual students with the fear that bringing them in will bring their numbers down.
They do anyway. Oh, okay.
While supporting the students' home language practices through bilingual education, even in a program that calls itself ESL, is often misperceived as the problem, it's part of the solution.
Attention, this is your fire safety director. Please disregard that alarm. Please disregard that alarm.
It's like at your schools, right?
Yeah.
False alarm?
That's a false alarm. Nelson keeps the
Attention, this is fire safety director. Please disregard that alarm. Fire signal is detecting the system. Thank you.
Okay. So we don't have to leave what that means. I didn't hear the alarm to begin with, but in any case. So supporting the students' home language practices through bilingual education, through building upon those home language practices, building upon their bilingualism, in whatever kind of program you provide, that is often misperceived as the problem, but here what we're saying is that we suggest instead it is part of the solution. And schools really need in place strong language education policies that protect their programming for emergent bilinguals from outside forces like No Child Left Behind. I've really come to think of your school-based language education policies like an umbrella or a shield that will create a safe space, a protected space for doing what you know is right for the students that you serve. And these are, in essence, your school improvement plans that you are now developing. You're building those shields. And that means that, I have found in my interviews with principals who have maintained their programming in spite of No Child Left Behind, that those language policies are coherent, they're cohesive, that the teachers in the building buy into them, support them, believe in them, and that serves as this shield so that when crazy stuff happens outside, simply put, it doesn't change what happens inside. They negotiate it, they reinterpret it to make it fit what they're already doing in ways that make sense for them. And nationally, I'm going to put it out there, I think the U.S. needs expansive and dynamic language policies that build upon the home language practices of all students, not just emergent bilinguals, but on everybody, to foster a true ecology of multilingualism in all of our schools. So here's some discussion questions that I want you to think about, as not to answer now. I'm going to take some questions. We have time for questions in a minute. But as you're listening to our next presenter, Laura, I'd like you to think about these questions. To what extent are the formative and summative assessments that you are using in your school, your own school, to what extent are our formative and summative assessments appropriate for evaluating emergent bilinguals and supportive of the students' dynamic bilingualism? Do we assess students' home language practices in ways that allow us to build upon these strategically in the classroom? Like, do you know what they are? Why or why not? And is all of the assessment data we gather used as effectively as possible, to the greatest extent possible, to inform programming and instruction for our emergent bilingual students? So thank you.
We have 5 minutes for questions and comments if people have anything else.
Our district had a Reading First grant, which is the funding.
Central ISLIP?